Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of WrestleScope Live. I am the Icon Jonny K. Thank you very much for tuning in this evening. Have you recovered from WrestleMania weekend yet? Ah, yes, a long weekend of a lot of professional wrestling, a lot of things going on, a lot of things happening. And, well, did WWE... Do they not have a plan moving forward? Because perfectly honestly, taking a look at what happened on Raw last night, they did not really set the stage for anything new. Minus a couple of things. Roman Reigns is the new undisputed WWE Universal Champion. We didn't even get to see a new belt. We got absolutely no indication of what's next. We have to tune in on Friday night. That was the go-home angle from the Raw after Mania. Bianca Belair came out, did a promo. We have absolutely no indication of what is happening next with the Raw Women's Champion. RK Bro successfully defended the tag team championships, the Raw tag team championships. We have no clue what's next for them. Kevin Owens, yeah, we get Ezekiel, Elias's little brother. Okay. Cody Rhodes. We know he's going after the WWE championship. But what's next for him? Okay, Bobby Lashley, we know he's going to continue on his feud with Omos after MVP turned on him. But that's not new. MVP turning on him is new, yes. We saw one surprise return in Elias, one debut that we knew about in Veer. But what else? Absolutely nothing else. WWE had the opportunity coming out of a really good weekend of sports entertainment of WrestleMania to really set the tone for what's going to happen over the next weeks and months. That's what WrestleMania traditionally was in the past. You're wrapping up certain things, you're kicking off for the next year. I thought of this analogy earlier. Okay, for racing fans, NASCAR starts off their season with their biggest event, the Daytona 500. That kicks off the year. The NBA, Major League Baseball, NHL, NFL, all end their seasons with their biggest events of the year. Super Bowl, NBA Championship, World Series, Stanley Cup. And then they start over again. WWE, though, you would think their biggest show of the year would again be a combination of two things. One, culminating certain things, putting finishing touches on certain on certain feuds and sagas, which they did. Roman and Brock, Bianca and Becky. Pretty much done. Starting new things. Edge and AJ. Okay. And then on the Raw after Mania, you set up for what's going to happen next. Now, they kind of got away from that over the last couple of years when all of a sudden the next pay-per-view, they decided to tweak the name and change it from Backlash to WrestleMania Backlash, which basically tells you that the next pay-per-view, the next premium live event is an extension of WrestleMania. It's not a reaction to what happened at WrestleMania. It is an extension. It's basically night 3 of WrestleMania 4 weeks later. WWE is horrible at long-term booking on the grand scale. Now, okay, Brock versus Roman has been going on for 7 years, on and off. Bianca and Becky is the complete opposite of what I just said. This has been something that has been building and growing for what, 8 months since SummerSlam last year. That's good. Cody and Seth, no build. AJ and Edge, 4 weeks, okay. Charlotte and Ronda, okay. As far as build, yes, it's been going on. It really has been going on for a couple of years now. Stop, start. Ronda was gone. She comes back, picks up again at the Royal Rumble. Okay. But for the most part, they hotshot things for the next premium live event. I'm sorry, I'm going to call it a pay-per-view. It's a pay-per-view. Yes, lots of rematches, J. Papa. That's right. They don't look ahead to the future. Back in the early days of WWE pay-per-views, well, WWF pay-per-views, when there was only 4. Really, there was 3. Then there was 4. They would literally have to build over weeks and months up to major storylines at their big events. Now, obviously, times have changed. There's weekly television. They're doing 12 pay-per-views a year, one every single month, which, again, I think is way too many. Way too many. And start booking out longer feuds. Now, the problem WWE has, though, and again, I think it comes down to the fact that you've got a 3-hour Raw and you just don't have the content to fill 3 hours with quality programming. I'm sure USA Network does not want to give up that 3rd hour. WWE does not want to give up that 3rd hour. But honestly, if there was ever a time for WWE to back down to 2 hours on Monday night, it's now. Because then you can actually do quality building towards things and not have to fill with so much garbage. Lessen the amount of pay-per-views you have to 6 a year. 4 is not quite enough. I said this last night. No, Lucas, because first of all, as long as they're on Fox, it can't happen. Because the Fox deal that they have with their local affiliates is 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. 2 hours of network programming every single night. That's the way it's been. That's the way it's always going to be. The only time it changes is, well, Sundays for football during the day, or other sporting events. But primetime weeknight is 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. It's the way it's always been since day one of Fox broadcasting starting. And that's the way it's going to continue. They don't have that bonus hour that ABC, NBC, CBS have. So as long as SmackDown is on Fox, it won't happen. Unless they throw hour number 3 over on FS1, which is stupid. They won't do that. But going back to the point of all of this is WWE looks like they don't have a plan moving forward. Now, they probably do. But quite honestly, I have to say, last night's Raw was a letdown. I loved the opening segment with Cody. It was an absolutely fantastic promo. Love the emotion. It was an unscripted promo. He basically came out and said what he needed to say, and it was great. And Seth coming out, extending his hand and saying welcome home, and that was it, was a thing of beauty. I loved it. Bianca's promo got us nowhere. It really got us nowhere. Edge, I don't know. It kind of did in a way, but Damian Priest's response it didn't help the situation. It didn't. And then Roman, I mean, they very easily could have done that. Didn't have to do that in the middle of the ring. I mean, I liked Paul Heyman talking about, highest ratings, highest ticket sales, highest gate, all these other things. And it was Roman as a champion. That was cool. But the fact that they left us with basically the Batman cliffhanger, what's Roman going to do? Is the Joker going to succeed? Tune in next time. That's basically what it was. Is pushing for you to tune in on Friday night on a different network to find out what Roman was going to do. Now, I know a couple of people brought it up last night in the watch along. Well, are they going to strip Roman of the title if his shoulder is injured? It's a very small possibility at this point in time, but I highly doubt it. Maybe they were just buying time for him to get his shoulder checked out, but you'd think since they've been in Dallas for, a week and they weren't going to be leaving that, your cash cow, the leader of the charge, that Sunday night you would have had him at a doctor getting that shoulder checked out, and immediately Monday morning having MRIs, X-rays, whatever needed to be done to have it looked at. So you had an answer going into Monday night. You had a contingency plan. So I don't think that we're going to hear on Friday that Roman is relinquishing the championship. They're not going to do that. It's not going to happen. Yeah, Lucas wants every show, Raw, AEW, SmackDown, to be 3 hours. No. AEW is fine at 2 hours. I mean, they've got Dark Elevation, they've got Rampage at 1 hour. They don't need to add the extra time. SmackDown does not need to go 3 hours. The age-old argument, Raw needs to back down to 2. Plain and simple. Okay. Does Edge and Priest, whoever joins up, reminds you of House of Black and AEW or Dark Order? I think it's more House of Black than anything else. Not so much Dark Order. I'll be interested to see if he actively goes out and tries recruiting people, then it's Dark Order. If they quietly bring in somebody else, a third or a tag team, then it's more like House of Black. I'm not sure. Brody who? Which Brody? Obviously not Brody Lee, and it's not Bruiser Brody. Okay, so speaking of Raw, but the reason I brought this up tonight, I wasn't sure what the numbers were going to be for Raw last night because they were going up against the NCAA championship. Oh, Brody King. No, I did not. I'm sure he probably took a shot at Edge, though. I'm sure he did. I was pleasantly surprised to see what the numbers were. And Brandon Thurston, who does a great job of doing this from WrestleNomics, they always have all the big numbers and everything. I'm going to show you right here what he tweeted out earlier today. These were the numbers from Raw last night. Raw drew 2.1 million viewers, their highest since January 4th. And the coveted 18 to 49 demographic, they got a 0.63, which is basically 820,000 viewers. Their highest since August 23rd. That is great for WWE. They got their post-WrestleMania bump. They got over 2 million viewers. But the problem is, looking at this, how many of those people after a show last night, which had some very confusing things, had some things that were repeats of a lot of other stuff, didn't really add much new, how many of that 2.1 million are going to drop off next week and not watch the show? How much of a carryover? Are we going to end up back in that situation where that 1.5 million, where it's the second, third, fourth worst Raw ever? Are we going to end up in that situation? I think we are, quite honestly, because again, it was a lackluster, absolutely lackluster Raw last night. We got the same tag team match, two of them that we've seen multiple times. The new women's tag team champions, Sasha and Naomi, taking on Liv and Rhea. And oh my goodness, there's a problem between Rhea and Liv. Oh, but they get a championship match next week, even though they lost. And you know darn well Sasha and Naomi are going to retain. And Rhea is going to end up turning on her partner just like Nikki did to her. Speaking of Nikki Ash, where is she? What happened to her? She just all of a sudden vanished. Hopefully she's not hurt, but she just kind of disappeared off the face of the planet. Finn Balor. Okay, I want to gripe. I need to gripe about this. Who did Finn Balor piss off? He lost 3 times in 4 days over the weekend. He has been pinned by Austin Theory twice in less than a week. Obviously, they are setting up for Finn Balor versus Austin Theory, U.S. Championship, and of course, Austin Theory is going to win. But good grief. Your first ever Universal Champion, multi-time champion in WWE, one of the most charismatic and over people that you have in the company, and yet treat them like crap. You basically give him this belt as a transitional champion. Like, hey, we're going to let you have a little mini run with this championship. You're really not going to defend it at all, and you're going to end up losing to Austin Theory. Was that what the conversation was? I don't know. You did have Braun Breaker defeat Dolph Ziggler last night, and I saw some people online going off about this. I thought it was actually kind of cool because, again, it was an opportunity. They wanted to see how Braun Breaker was going to react and how he was going to look in front of a big crowd. Yes, He was in a tag team match a few weeks ago on Raw, but this was a marquee match for him. This was the big test for him on, is he ready to get called up? And based off of what happened on NXT tonight, where what the hell were they thinking? They completely blew a great championship match that they could have had in 2 months, Braun Breaker versus Gunther for the NXT championship, and they give it to us on TV tonight. 15 minutes, and Walter loses clean. You can tell Triple H is not booking this. You can tell Shawn Michaels is not involved in this, that this is Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard, because that had Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard written all over it. The literally unstoppable Walter was defeated by a guy that has less than a year's experience in the ring. Now, this is no knock on Braun Breaker, okay? It's not. And then that closing segment, oh my goodness, with Joe Gacy and Harlan locking up Rick Steiner. So who's going to be the one challenging Braun Breaker? Is it going to be Harlan? Which, what they have done to that poor kid. He came in and everybody was touting him as the next Brock Lesnar, because obviously he looked like him. You know, before he shaved his head, he looked a lot like him. And they give him this bizarre character that just makes no sense. I mean, it's like Dexter Lumis meets Nails meets, I don't know. I mean, it was bizarre. And it's going no. And the Joe Gacy, you look at NXT 2.0 right now, and you look from top to bottom, you look at all these different characters they have. Like, this person, this is not ever going to work on the main roster. It is not. Joe Gacy, definitely not. Harlan, nope. Dexter Lumis, nope. Now, I hate to say it, Cameron Grimes. I really like Cameron Grimes, but his gimmick right now, not going to work on the main roster. It won't. Who's the guy that's leading the college? I can't even think of his name. You know, the guy that's leading the whole college thing. That gimmick won't go on the main roster. You know, on the women's side, Wendy Chu. Really? That definitely won't work on the main roster. What else? Lash Legend? Definitely not. I'm sorry. You know, this was supposed to be talking about post-WrestleMania plans and lack of them, and I went off on a diatribe again. Yeah, Imperium broke up. I don't get that one either. Why? Just because they lost the tag team championships and now they break up? It doesn't make sense. And yes, a couple of you brought this up in the comments here. Lucas, you started it off. Why do you have to? Because it's their thinking of booking. Well, you know what? We'll let Dakota Kai, we'll let them have a little bit of a longer run this time. We'll let them have the belt for 3 days, but we'll have them lose again. And that way we can put Dakota Kai against Mandy Rose. That's their thinking. That is their thinking. If you wanted to do that, then have Mandy Rose get involved in the match on Saturday to cost Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez the championships then, and just have Gigi and JC hang on to the belts. Yeah, and what are they going to do with her on the main roster? Absolutely nothing. They absolutely will not do anything with her. Look what they did with Tegan Nox. Nothing. Shotzi Blackheart. My goodness, she was one of the hottest characters on NXT. Where is she now? Where is she now? They turned her heel and she's gone. Andrew Chase. Bray Wyatt 2.0 for Harlan? No. Because the difference is, whatever iteration of Bray Wyatt you had, whether it was very first Bray Wyatt with Wyatt family, and then slightly creepier, Bray Wyatt, and then Bray Wyatt with the Firefly Funhouse, and then Fiend Bray Wyatt, he had charisma. He had character. Harlan, I can't even remember what his real name is. He's got nothing. He's got zero. Okay? Oh, Joe gives you that. No, not even close. Joe Gacy wishes he had as much talent as Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt, has in his pinky. Okay? Plain and simple. Yeah, Jay Papa, you are right. Mandy Rose has improved. Having her come down to NXT, having her do work in the Performance Center, and having her turn heel helped a ton. Parker Boudreaux. That's what it was. Parker Boudreaux. Thank you. Yes. But, of course, if you're a new guy coming in, they got to change your name so they can trademark everything. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to be, a completely take a dump on WWE show tonight, but I'm back to my frustrations again of what has been wrong with this product for so long. Again, I loved what they did with Bianca and Becky for all these months, and then nothing last night. I love what they did with Cody on Saturday night and then again last night. I loved the build for the most part of Roman and Brock, though I think it lasted just a little bit too long this last stint. And then they dropped the ball last night. So I'm not all completely negative about WWE. Okay? Going back again to over the weekend, Johnny Knoxville, Sami Zayn, oh my goodness, that may have been one of my favorite matches of all time. I'm not talking as a wrestling match. I'm just talking about entertaining. It was funny as all get out. I loved it. I actually want to go back and watch that match again. For one, I want to watch that closing spot where that gigantic mousetrap failed. And Knoxville had to sit there and basically do it himself. That was awesome. The giant hand coming out. Wee Man, just every Party Boy, all those things. It was incredible. And Sami Zayn, I've never been a huge fan of his characters. I have a great appreciation for Sami Zayn, the performer, of what he does in the ring. He made Johnny Knoxville look fantastic in that match. He sold everything so well. It was incredible. If you don't have to like Sami Zayn, but man, if you don't respect him after this weekend, there's something wrong with you. Plain and simple. Yes, Wee Man picking up Sami Zayn. It was great. Knoxville's a straight savage. Andrews, yeah, we talked about this a little bit last night. Thoughts on the rumors of Rhea Ripley joining Edge's new stable? I could potentially see it happening. How I would do it? Here's how I would do it. You don't want to grow this group too fast. Think back to the very beginnings of the NWO. Think back, Scott Hall shows up, and he's there for what, 2 weeks? It was 3 weeks before Kevin Nash showed up all of a sudden. Slow build. And it was just the two of them until the very first match at Bash of the Beach. It was just those two. And, they said, we're going to have a third man. We all know what happened. But it was a very slow build to that third man. WWE needs to do the same thing with Edge's new group. It made perfect sense for them to add in Damian Priest when they did. They've got the two. Now you let Priest go up against AJ Styles. And you let it be those two, Edge and Damian, against AJ for a little while. You let that build until AJ realizes, oh man, I need to get somebody to help me out here. And he finds someone. I don't know who. And there's a tag team match. And maybe that's what's at WrestleMania Backlash is Edge and Damian versus AJ and whoever. And then that's when you get the introduction of either the third person or the tag team that comes in, that gets involved. All of a sudden you have 4. And while all this is going on, you have Rhea Ripley turn on Liv Morgan, because it comes down to she's sick and tired of having partners that she has to carry. She's sick and tired of having partners that just aren't good enough, that she can't trust, that she can't rely on. And maybe we get a backstage segment at some point in time with Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. And they talk. And he's like, listen, I see what's been happening with you. And I know that feeling. Why don't you come? I've got somebody you should come talk to. And you just leave it at that. You don't have any interaction with Edge and Rhea at all. I don't know how they would play into her becoming part of this group. Maybe whoever AJ teams with has an alignment with a woman on the roster somewhere. I don't know who. I mean, nothing really makes sense at this point. But you have Rhea Ripley attack whoever that woman is to help out Edge and Damian versus AJ and whoever he has. I can't think of who it possibly could be right now. I mean, outside of, okay, you've got, Seth and Becky, you've got Montez Ford and Bianca Belair. I mean, Corey Graves and Carmella, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, what other real life couples do we have on Raw right now? I mean, do we have anybody else? I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of. So I'm not quite sure how that would all work out. And there's nobody on NXT either that they could, bring up to help AJ Styles that has, a significant other that could come along with it. So my theory could be a little bit wrong there. But that's how I would do it to get to Rhea being a part of this. Slow build. You don't have her join Edge's group until definitely after WrestleMania Backlash and possibly closer to Hell in a Cell. Yes, we do have Jimmy Uso and Naomi on SmackDown, but again, that wouldn't make sense either. That wouldn't make any sense. So I'm not quite sure how that whole thing would play out. Okay. What's up, David? How are you doing? Oh, Jay Papa, what do I think of Ezekiel? I'm going to close out the show with this. This is another rib by Vince McMahon. The story is a while back, Vince McMahon saw Elias in just some regular wrestling trunks. I mean, keep in mind, how he dressed as Elias, Walk with Elias, that he didn't wear trunks. He was always wearing some sort of pants or tight, mostly pants. But Vince loved his look in tights, but said he looked a little bit too much like Randy Savage. So that's why they had to change this. But basically, you've got, generic jobber number 435 with Ezekiel. And where are they going to go with this? I don't know. I really don't. But I think this is just Vince McMahon laughing his ass off in Gorilla looking at this poor guy. They have completely destroyed another character again. They've ruined him. They really have. David, they should have pushed Elias a long time ago. I mean, first of all, when they partnered him with Jackson Riker, they knew there was going to be, take a crap on him heat, for pairing him with Jackson Riker because of the negativity so many people have over him. Everything that happened with the Forgotten Sons, and I think it's a bunch of garbage, to be perfectly honest. I really do. I'm not going to get into, political rants or anything else here, but personally, I don't think Jackson Riker did anything wrong. I'm just going to say that. If you don't agree with his political stance, well, too bad. It's America. Where you have the right. You have the right. I don't even want to talk about this, and I don't know who's next on the chopping block. Again, I could very easily just look at the roster. Again, last night, did we get anything with the 24/7 championship? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Last week we saw 2 potential weddings. Nothing over WrestleMania weekend. Nothing last night. I got this really, really bad feeling that if there are releases here in the next couple of days or next week, it's going to be Dana Brooke, Tamina, Reggie, Tozawa. Those 4 will be on there. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. No, Lucas, R-Truth is not going anywhere because he is golden in the eyes of Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon absolutely loves him because he thinks he's one of the funniest people on the planet. R-Truth, no matter what, is safe. Why do you think they have done for so long all this stuff with the 24/7 title and him being involved? Because Vince wants to laugh. That's why. I don't know about that. First of all, I don't know how long Finn Balor is under contract for. And we talked about this last night. Let's say let's say there's releases tomorrow and Finn Balor's announced as one of them. I can tell you right now, in 90 days, Finn Balor will not go to AEW. He will go to Japan. He will go elsewhere, but he will not go to AEW. Tony Khan would be stupid not to throw a bunch of money at him, because just imagine what they could do there. But he won't go. I don't think he would go there right away. I really don't. Holly, man, what do I think about the new look Edge? It's taking some getting used to. It really is. I hope they get to some point with this whole judge, jury, executioner thing. I mean, obviously that story that we heard about a couple of weeks ago about WWE trademarking the grand jury. at some point in time, very soon, Edge is going to call themselves that, but he's not going to do that until they are either at 3, 4, or 5 people. They're not going to do it while it's just him and Damian Priest. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is WWE's version of the Pinnacle / the Inner Circle / the House of Black / the Dark Order. It's going to be kind of a hodgepodge of all 4 of those AEW groups. Honestly, that's what it's going to be. All right. I went a lot longer than I had planned on for tonight. I was planning on only going about 15 minutes, but sometimes, when we get talking, it just happens. I'm excited for Dynamite tomorrow night. I think it's going to be a great show. I don't think they've really announced anything else. Let's just take a look here real quick. Just want to see if anything new was announced. I know here we go. Oh, they screwed something up there. All right, so we've got Samoa Joe versus Platinum Max Caster in the first men's Owen Hart tournament qualifier. Hikaru Shida versus Julia Hart. That's going to be interesting. The Hardys versus the Butcher and the Blade. Christian Cage versus Adam Cole. And what better be the main event tomorrow night? If this is not the main event, I don't know. FTR, Young Bucks for the ROH and AAA tag team titles. Man, that is going to be great. TKG, no, I will not be live for AEW tomorrow night. For the next 4 weeks, as you guys know, I do. Oh, thank you, Holling Man. Thank you. I have church stuff on Wednesday nights. I teach at church on Wednesday nights. So I have to catch the first hour the first hour and a half of Dynamite on the road, away from home, away from the studio. So I can't do live. Once we get into May and things start opening up for me, I might do watch-alongs of Dynamite. I don't know. I don't know at this point in time. We'll see. I'm struggling with the Raw ones right now, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to do watch-alongs of Monday Night Raw. We'll see. I really like to sit and watch and enjoy the shows and, be able to, keep an eye on things. We'll see. I don't know. But definitely not right now. Yeah, let's go Bucks. I don't even know if they will. Oh, you talking about the Young Bucks? No, I don't want to see the Young Bucks win. I want to see FTR hang on to those titles, because it would make absolutely no sense if it would be WWE booking if they won the ROH tag team titles on Friday and then all of a sudden drop them the following Wednesday. Okay. That's my personal thinking, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I can't wait to see. Jabril, one last one. What do you think about Cody Rhodes returning? I like what they're doing right now. So far, everything is looking good. Everything, but we'll see. We'll see. Talk to me in a month. Talk to me after WrestleMania Backlash and see if I'm still happy about it. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Have a great night, everybody. As always, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button, and also, please don't forget, I'll leave this up for the final minute of the show here. Please go to the bio wherever you may be watching. If it's on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitch, TikTok, wherever you may be watching, click on the bio. You'll see the link tree. Hit the link tree. You can follow all my different social media. You can see the Amazon wish list and everything else. Going to be doing more content. I'll be perfectly honest with you folks. I don't talk too much about personal life here, but 8 weeks ago, I lost my job. That's when I really started ramping things up with this channel. I decided to come back and start doing this channel again. And I've been, focusing on, trying to take care of my family and doing some things. And it's taken away time from during the day for me to be able to work on things with the channel and being more actively involved on social media. I just haven't had enough time to do that. I'm trying to find a happy medium between both right now, so I can put some more focus on the social media of this. So please just be patient with me right now as I'm working on it. But thank you very much, everybody. I will be back at some point in time tomorrow, probably after Dynamite. We'll probably do a quick one after Dynamite to talk about what happened. Maybe we'll just consider it a Dynamite post show. But I'll be back again tomorrow night. This is day 35 of me doing live streams on YouTube and Twitch. We'll see how much longer we can go with it, okay? Have a great night, everybody. We will talk to you tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be a fantastic Dynamite. I can't wait to see what they're going to roll out. Have a great night, everybody.